Hi everyone. Great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for a very special announcement, which we will be cracking on with in just a couple of minutes. I am here to be the face of this amazing new endeavour, this fantastic idea. Before we start, though, those of you who are familiar with Choir of the Earth, who have been here in my studio with me before, might notice a couple of things. In fact, if I go full screen, you might notice things look a little bit different today. Less about music and more about something else. And I think those of you that know me and have known me for a while, whether it's been a year or two or three or even longer, know that obviously music is a huge passion of mine, but so is something else. I am a huge what's called gamer, ladies and gentlemen. I love computer games. I always have. For the last 40 plus years, I've been an avid collector and player of computer games and computer game technology. You can see some of it behind me here. I am frequently found in my off hours, not that I have that many, but playing on my Steam Deck here, or downstairs playing on the PlayStation or on the Xbox. And I want to show you some very special discs. Now, some of you that are a bit on the older side might recognize these. The younger generation might look at these and go, it looks like the save icon on Microsoft Office. Okay, well, these are computer discs, and these are not PC discs. These are for the Commodore Amiga, which is a computer that is long since having dropped into history, but is an essential part of the history of Choir of the Earth. I'll explain more. In fact, I'll leave it to Mark to explain more in just a moment. Now, everyone who is here at the moment, thank you so much for being here live. And of course, many of you are watching this later on. And I have seen a live comment flash past. Do your family ever see you? My entire family game as well. Anna games with me. My kids and I, we often play games together. So it's a huge bonding activity for us as a family and for my wider friend group. But you're here not just to hear about the fact that I like computer games. You're here to find out something very, very special indeed. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand over, first of all, to the founder of Choir of the Earth, Mr. Mark Strachan, BEM. Here's Mark.
Hello everyone. Back in 1984, when I was much younger, I started a computer games publishing company called Domark. We published a game, the first game we did in 1984, called Eureka, which was written by my good friend Sir Ian Livingstone, best known for his fighting fantasy series of books, which have become hugely successful. And also he started that company, wonderful company, Games Workshop. Ian wrote the story of Eureka, and we had the game produced and programmed in Hungary. Key to this adventure game was a prize of £25,000 to the first person who could crack the code hidden in the game and the accompanying booklet. The answer to the riddles included in there was, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end, from Revelations chapter 22 verse 13 of the Bible. If you placed the numbers 0 to 9 above these letters and picked the correct letters in order, it gave you a telephone number. And the first person to call this number and say, I am their Alpha and Omega, etc., won the £25,000. The secret phone was in our solicitor's bedroom, and we had 2 wrong numbers in the 12 months until at last a 15-year-old boy called and he won the money. We sponsored him through university and he became our first graduate trainee. We went on to publish many games for James Bond, Star Wars, Trivial Pursuit the board game, etc. And probably our best known game was a football game called Championship Manager. After Domark, I set up Gameplay plc, which I floated on the London stock market, and at its height we had BT, Sky and Dixons all as shareholders. Sadly, we were a victim of the dot-com bubble and suffered as a result. I was also chairman of the Computer Games Trade Association and CEO of the game's charity, which, amongst other things, donated £100,000 to pay for the education, housing, food and clothing for all 1,000 Sri Lankan orphans who lost both parents in that terrible tsunami of 2004. I tell you all this because my early career was based in the computer and video games industry. And when I first met Ben, he showed me some Domark games which he had bought as a customer and played all those years ago. So both Ben and myself are gamers at heart. It therefore makes perfect sense when I say that both Ben and myself are thrilled to announce the formation of Game Choir. Game Choir at www.gamechoir.com, which will bring the delights and joys of Choir of the Earth to those who play computer games. You may well be aware that music in games has become big business, and games now feature orchestras, choirs, and world-famous composers. And it might interest you to know that worldwide, the games market is worth more than books, music, and films combined. Game Choir will bring the delights of singing and recording to those who enjoy playing games, and we hope to bring all the positives that we enjoy with Choir of the Earth to a much younger audience. Game Choir will be a separate arm from Choir of the Earth, and whilst it is run by the same people, it will not affect the service given to you, Choir of the Earth members. Game Choir is free to join, and you are most welcome to come along and join what we hope will be thousands of young people from all over the world joining us to sing games music. This is very exciting for us all, and I hope that we can count on your support as we introduce Game Choir to the world.
So there you are. Those of you who have known Mark, like myself, for many years, but only as the founder of Choir of the Earth, he has a secret double identity. And in fact, those of you who are really interested, well, if I can just show you what dear Mark looked like back then. Just give me 2 seconds, everyone. Here we go. There he is. There's the man himself presenting that self-same check to the young lad there. And I'd love to tell you that I was that young man there, but no, I wasn't. But I did indeed buy a whole load of Domark games. And if you double check, these are actual original games. I actually spent my money on these. And just in case you hadn't quite twigged, Mark's partner there is Dominic. Dominic and Mark, Domark. And I have to say, everyone, when Mark rang me and offered me the job of conducting what was then the self-isolation choir, as many of you know, the story goes, I nearly turned him down, partly because I was too busy, partly because I didn't have a clue who he was. But he introduced himself to me as Mark, who'd started Domark, and as an avid gamer, something went click in my head, and I reached over and I picked up these discs and said, I have your games here in my room. And straight away, we knew we had found each other as kindred spirits. And so we are thrilled to formally announce the formation of a new kind of digital ensemble. This is Game Choir. Now, I know we've got people watching at the moment who are avid choral singers who have never played a computer game in their lives, and this is for you as well. This is something completely new. It's also for those who have only ever played games and never sung a note, or were told years ago that they can't sing. Game Choir is for you. Why are we forming it? Well, of course, Choir of the Earth has been a great success and has reached people all around the world. But as Mark said, the gaming industry is enormous. It is one of the largest entertainment industries on the planet. It brings in billions of pounds per year, or dollars, wherever you are in the world. It brings in a huge amount of money and also of cultural influence. And the music from the games industry has gone from being niche and, to be honest, rather bleepy, bloopy, blorpy in the 1980s to full orchestral scores, beautiful choral music, and it is a genre in and of itself. So we are starting Game Choir to try and entice some of those millions, possibly even billions of gamers around the planet to come and sing, to meet the way that we make music at Choir of the Earth, which of course is we teach everything on YouTube, you sing at home, and it's combined by our genius engineers to create these massive online performances. And I'm sure those of you that sing with Choir of the Earth would love more people to come and join us. We all want to be part of a growing organisation. And so Game Choir is a way to help preserve and develop the choral tradition for the next generation, whilst also, frankly, being really cool. Now, what is the first project? How do we launch Game Choir? Well, I'd like to introduce you, those of you that have never played a game before, to Halo. And Halo was a launch game back in 2001 on the original Xbox, which is now one of the largest games machines in the world. Halo has sold literally tens of millions of copies. And the soundtrack featured an iconic Gregorian chant style piece by the wonderful composer Marty O'Donnell. And this particular chant, and it is very short, it's only about 40 seconds long, but it has become, in recent years, a viral phenomenon with millions of views on YouTube and other platforms. Let me just show you an example of what I mean. So there you go. And what's brilliant about that is, of course, everyone's having fun. No one is having to use sheet music. There's no words to learn. It's a beautiful melody, admittedly sung somewhat raucously at that point, but you can't deny the appeal of this beautiful chant. Short and eloquent and beautifully framed as it is. Now, of course, we're going to do things properly here with Game Choir. We've commissioned our friends, the Fieri Consort, to record the guide track. And I would like you all to listen to the chant that we are going to record. Now, if you bear in mind, it was originally written for male voices. We have added a part an octave higher for upper voices. And we've added a drone going along at the bottom, a nice low E for the second basses as well. So you are some of the first in the world to hear this, everyone. Here is the Game Choir Halo chant that we will be teaching, learning, recording, and sharing. Here we go. An absolutely beautiful, haunting, and very, very catchy melody. And if you're interested, and why wouldn't you be, in the man behind it, well, the composer's name is Marty O'Donnell. And Mark and I had the immense privilege of speaking with him a couple of days ago. You will be able to watch that full conversation, which is genuinely fascinating, as he reveals his influences, where the Halo theme came from. It genuinely will surprise you. And how he feels about this project, because it's fair to say Marty is immensely supportive of Game Choir. He will be recording his voice. In fact, don't take my word for it. Here's the man himself.
Hello, everybody. Everybody can sing, so join me at GameChoir.com to record my Halo chant. And we want the largest Halo choir ever in the history of mankind. And I shall record my own voice too. So join us, please, at GameChoir.com. This is going to be a blast.
So you heard it from the man himself. And anyone who knows Halo, anyone who knows the music and who's ever sung it, whether it's been in a choir or more likely like with me, whenever you pressed pause on the original game, that theme would start playing and everyone in the house would start singing it. If you're like me, you will be absolutely thrilled to know that Marty is involved. And if you've never heard of him before, if you've never heard of the game before, if you've never played a computer game before, you can't deny it's a beautiful, beautiful tune. And everyone is invited for free to take part in the world's largest Halo chant. It lasts a total of 40 seconds, but we will do a full teaching session on July the 10th. So that is Monday, July the 10th. It is, as I say, completely free. You need no previous singing or gaming experience to take part, as I will teach you everything you need to know. It doesn't matter whether you sing high or low, there is a part in this for you. You can sign up for free today. The embargo lifted at 2 p.m. this afternoon UK time. We've already been featured in the New Music Express, and more global news networks are taking up the story. So this really is going to run and run. Please, everyone watching, go and sign up at gamechoir.com. And those of you who are established Choir of the Earth members, how can you help us with this? Well, you can tell your friends, your family, your colleagues, your choirs that this project is taking place. Whether they're gamers or not, they will all, I'm sure, want to be part of something that is huge, international, and also has the aim and intention of preserving our choral tradition, the way that we come together and sing. And this is a way to reach out to people wherever they are in the world, regardless of whether they were rich or poor, whether they're living in a house, a flat, doesn't matter. They can take part in this. All you need is an internet access, you need a phone that can record, and you need about 10 minutes of time to watch the teaching and record along. And something to bear in mind, those of you who are a little unsure, remember, although it is singing, it's not geeky, it's not nerdy, it's Halo. So it's inherently cool. It's great music, it's short, it's completely free, and huge fun. Those of you on social media, we'd be really grateful if you would like all of the tweets and share the posts and at people who you thought might be interested, because we want to get 10,000 people around the world singing this and helping us launch Game Choir for everyone. So, folks, that's our big announcement. I do hope you will be part of it. I hope you'll go and sign up. I hope you'll tell everyone that Game Choir is now on the road. The 10th of July is the date to put in your diary. Those of you in Choir of the Earth, we will, of course, summarise this in a roundup email for you. And please do, as I say, go and sign up. And if you've never played the game before, but you have access to a games machine, it's great fun. As I say, the pause menu is particularly entertaining because you'll hear that chant every time you hit pause. Look out for the full interview with Marty and Mark and myself very soon. But in the meantime, I've got to go because I've left a game on pause and I want to see if I can get a high score. All the very best, folks. Take care. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.